Hey guys, how you going? Okay, I've calmed down since last night. Before I start, I want to shout out to where I saw this information in the first place. Michelle from Deception Bites, and apparently she got it from YIG. I don't know who that is, but it was just interesting to go over the information and read it, and listen to their point of view as well. Now, on disclaimer before I start, I don't believe or disbelieve in this. I just found it really interesting and a little bit disturbing. So, I'm not saying I believe it, I'm not saying I don't. So, and you can believe it or not. It's up to you guys. If you can, someone did point out that some of the pictures of these women were from a porn site. If you can make a video and show me how you did that, I'd really appreciate that. If you can, because I'm not that computer savvy. I'm not that tech savvy, so I don't know how to do that sort of thing. This is why I'm telling you all this, so maybe that you can help me, so that together we can sort this out. Yeah, let's keep going, but yeah. Okay. First off, I'm going to jump back and forward here, guys. First off, I wanted to go here, and you'll see why. This is Glamis Calling. Okay, now it is obscure and strange and weird, and I will read it to you. I should have gotten to the beginning before I started this. Okay, to the far corners of the world. Welcome to the information portal. This site serves as the official external communication vehicle for the World Governing Council and the Wettin Upper Chamber. If you've been directed here for instruction, note that the most messages are intentionally obscure. If you have difficulty understanding a particular message, you may reach out to Luxembourg Cathedral on Node 9 of the Forgotten Frequency. After authentication, you may receive additional instruction in the upper chamber. We often say, debate is required, respectful dissent is allowed, and betrayal is death. Bear this in mind as you read the instructions written herein. By the time information is posted here, the debate is over and the dissent has been noted. Best regards, Somerset Balanoff. Okay, now, before we go any further, the Wettin Upper Chamber. House of Wettin. German Haus Wettin is a dynasty of German counts, dukes, prince-electors and kings that once ruled territories in the present-day German states of Saxony, Saxony-Anhalt, and Thuringia. I hope I'm saying that right. The dynasty is one of the oldest in Europe, and its origins can be traced back to the town of Wettin, Saxony-Anhalt. The Wettins gradually rose to power within the Holy Roman Empire. The members of the family became the rulers of several medieval states, starting with the Saxon Eastern March in 1030. In 1030. Other states they gained were Meissen in 1089, Thuringia in 1263, and Saxony in 1423. These areas cover large parts of central Germany as a cultural area of Germany. The family divided into two ruling branches in 1485 by the Treaty of Leipzig, the Ernestine and Albertine branches. The older Ernestine branch played a key role during the Protestant Reformation. Many ruling monarchs outside Germany were later tied to its cadet branch, the House of Saxe, Goldberg and Gotha. The Albertine branch, while less prominent, ruled most of Saxony and played a part in Polish history. Agnates of the House of Wettin have, at various times, ascended the thrones of Great Britain, Portugal, Bulgaria, Poland, Saxony and Belgium. Only the British and Belgian lines retain their thrones today. Do you understand where this is going? It's related to the Queen. Okay, anyway, I'm going to put all these links below so you can have a look for yourself. This was just a Wikipedia page. I just wanted to make sure that, see if these people were real. Okay, for a start. So it looks like they are, and they are an old family related to the Queen. Okay. This one is Who is Somerset Belanoff? I'm not sure. I should go back to no, I might read this. This is her. Somerset Belanoff. Update July 7th, 2018, back online after being removed by Belanoff's internet police a few weeks ago. Undoubtedly, they will take our site down again, so if we disappear again, don't despair. We'll be back. We always come back. Our mission is to provide the public with as much information as possible related to Somerset Belanoff, Countess of Banbury and Arran. She is the third cousin of Queen Elizabeth II. She is also the current head of the World Governing Council, as well as the Chief Executive Officer of the World Security Office. She sits unchallenged atop the Illuminati hierarchy, and she rules with an iron fist. She has consistently demonstrated a willingness to track down and destroy those hostile to her agenda. Her motto is "Debate is required, respectful dissent is allowed, betrayal is a death sentence." Within the realm of world governments, there is no one who yields more power. We've done our best to provide a thorough treatment of our subject, and this sometimes requires us to present significant historical background details to help the reader better understand how the information or events fit into a broader context. Many years and much work have gone into gathering the information contained on these pages. For the serious researcher, you'll find this information essential to understanding the nature of the various organisations that make up what is commonly referred to as the elite. With few exceptions, Miss Belanoff generally stopped giving interviews in 1979 when she was appointed by Queen Elizabeth to represent the United Kingdom on the World Governing Council. Prior to that time, she lived the life of a typical British socialite and was interviewed at least twice by the weekly music magazine Melody Maker. In this early period, she also contributed articles to University of Warwick's Manifold, a magazine that focused on mathematics. Okay. In more recent years, she has granted only a handful of interview requests to periodicals that cater to some of her favourite interests. For example, in 1998, she gave a brief interview to Crastus, a magazine focused on local Scottish politics, and Gath, a Scottish Gaelic language magazine. In addition to English, German, Russian, Mandarin and French, Miss Belanoff is also fluent in Scottish Gaelic. Through diligent sleuthing, cajoling witnesses, and sometimes using the services of private investigators, we've managed to collect sufficient information to construct what we feel is a respectable, though admittedly incomplete, narrative. Primary sources of information include, but are not limited to, the following: speeches given by Miss Belanoff herself, emails exchanged between Miss Belanoff and subordinates, interviews with people who interacted with her on a regular basis, such as her former personal security chief, her current chief of staff, current members of her household staff, and several high-ranking officials within the House of Wetton. More on this later. Candid commentary by members of the Windsor family, including Prince Charles and the late Princess Diana. Discussions with private citizens who have had minimal but verifiable interaction with Miss Belanoff. The category includes conversations with former US President Jimmy Carter's personal secretary, Tessa Lynn Gordy, who spent time with our subject first at Camp David and later at Bohemian Grove. Information resulting from work performed by professional investigators hired by our team. On 2 occasions, our investigators were able to establish direct first-person contact with Miss Belanoff, if for only a few moments. Comments made by Miss Belanoff to journalists and people who were part of the London music and art scene during the mid-1960s through 1979. Conclusion. Through these and other sources, Somerset Balanoff emerges as a complex and often contradictory character, at times kind and compassionate, often whimsical, but always dangerous. She emerges as a powerful and generous friend to those close to her, and a ruthless enemy, capable of instilling cold, abject terror in those who stand against her. Okay, now before we go on, I want to go back to here. Because as we just read, the World Governing Council and the Wetton House, which is Wetton, and here it mentions both of these things. This site serves as the official external communication vehicle for the World Governing Council and the Wetton Upper Chamber. If you've been directed here for instruction, note that most messages are intentionally obscure. If you have difficulty understanding a particular message, you may reach out to Luxembourg Cathedral on Node 9 of the Forgotten Frequency. After authentication, you may receive additional instructions in the upper chamber. We often say debate is required, respectful dissent is allowed, and betrayal is death. Bear this in mind as you read the instructions written herein. By the time the information is posted here, the debate is over and the dissent has been noted. Best regards, Somerset Balanoff. Okay. This is going to it gets crazy, guys. The more you read, the crazier this gets. All delegates and electors, Glamis Calling is undergoing upgrades to align with VibeSat capabilities throughout the remainder of 2019. Communications from the upper chamber will be delivered via biochips or through alternative, non-secure media. Set personal devices and align vibrational frequencies according to previous instructions and contact Luxembourg Cathedral on Forgotten Frequency using Hyacinth pattern on Node 9. Keep the whatever that is flying. Keep the ship flying. Strategic Advances, Supreme Headquarters, Allied Powers Europe. We require a reboot of Grand Guardian with full platform engagement. The Shadow Lion is in place to watch over systems during reboot. Proceed at once and direct questions to Cathedral on Hyacinth Node of Forgotten Frequency. You see what I mean? This is really weird stuff. Hamlin. So the Pied Piper of Hamlin, we shall never forget. It is 735 years since our children left. Washington Tower Maritime Alert. Be advised, RAF Flyingdales is tracking a seagoing vessel bound for the port of Philadelphia. Sailing under a Liberian flag. Flyingdales is monitoring via S-AIS and Intellisat-6, and Cathedral has engaged dark vigilant protocols. Initial VibeSat intelligence suggests the vessel is likely transporting a historically significant quantity of narcotics. Since clearing Bahamian waters, the Guyane has veered from the expected course several times, deviating from traditional shipping lanes. We believe these manoeuvres are attempts to avoid oceanic observation outposts and floating sensors. ETA at Port of Philadelphia is June 18th. The status of this communication is informational alert, and you are not required to take action. And again, all these, like advise Luxembourg Cathedral via lost lullaby frequency of your intentions. Should you elect not to take action against the vessel, Cathedral will assume point and will intercept the Guyane on the open sea. Luxembourg Cathedral. The Shadow Line is watching over. Upgrades will begin shortly. All frequencies will shift. There's a reason I'm reading this, guys. The World Governing Council supports Scott Morrison for the PM post. Congratulations on your upcoming victory, for it is assured. And this is on the 13th of May 2019. Westminster Tower Alert. Madam Prime Minister, this is appointed directive. At the upcoming meeting of the 1922 Committee, you will announce your departure. This decision was made by Glamis and ratified by the World Governing Council. NASA, Nepal. You have a green light to launch Nepali site SAT-1 after April 15th, and this was on April 9th, 2019. It has all these weird things in it, guys, so what I'll do is I'll put the links below. You can read over this. This one was interesting, Washington Tower. Cathedral Observation Post 5 is tracking an underwater disturbance approximately 50 kilometres north of the Kermadec Island arc. Island Station reports abnormal surface patterns. Cathedral Tower has taken temporary control of Russian Cosmosat 2515 for dark vigilance and confirms likely underwater nautical operation by rogue state Bravo. Glamis and the World Security Office are instructing you to activate Deep Siren and call forth Gargantuan from the Mariana Trench. Rest assured, the rogue fleet is no match for our monster, and he is hungry. I want to read this one because it comes into effect in the other page here. Mr. Cully's important date is approaching. We will need to implement Operation Romeo Hammer. This needs to be brutal and public. Mr. Cully was a mob person who was killed, and this was posted on 1st of March 2019. Then there's all this weird recordings. There's something else I want to show you down here before I do leave this. See, it's all got this like forgotten frequency and all this weird stuff, and I really am interested to know what it would mean, you know? The upper chamber approves Madame Rothschild's proposal to consolidate and privatise operations under the Swiss bank. I'm getting to something. SpaceX launch dates, 29th of January and 30th. Launch dates for Falcon 9 Block 5 are not approved. Moved to February 15th at earliest. No. Block Island disaster. Illuminate the Palatine lights. Captain George Long and Andrew Brooke contact ship's master Samuel Merchant on forgotten frequency. You must return to the depths. Butterfield. Audio from the other side. I'm not going to play that because I don't want to hear it. You are very welcome to download this and play it yourself. These are weird. Bite and bleed. I don't, and this is weird over here, down the bottom over here on the right hand side. Follow. You better not be following me. Jeez. Rupert the Simple is a full-grown man, whistle in his mouth, pig sticker in his hand, rooting with the grunters. He'll spill his seed at the High Street Fair. He'll bite and bleed. Cathedral frequency update. All towers update. You probably want to just go through this, and it's very weird, and I'm not pretending to know what it means, but I want to show you something down the bottom. Oh, there was one about Alex Jones. Where is it? And Lost Lullaby. I don't want to play that. Worldwide Witchery. Angevin line is strongest. Anarchy of the Wolves is now in effect. Hide your light and await further instructions from Glamis. Listen on harmful hymn via balance wave patch. See what all this weirdness is? There's your checkered floorboard. At Edith Grove. Await further instructions. Stand down. Bohemian Grove. Here we go. The upper chamber has decided Mr. Jones has ranted long enough, and it's time to remove his platforms. Other options were discussed, but we want to restrict his reach without turning him into a martyr. Apple, Google, and others who host this material execute calm night. Bohemian Grove, you're holding the blood stick on this one, as the various lucrative platforms are within your geographical sphere of influence. In these types of cases, we much prefer to have local people handle, because you know the area and you manage the technology. If you're not comfortable handling, contact Cathedral Tower on Node 6 to declare your neutrality, and Glamis will handle. Less paperwork and no law enforcement to deal with if you handle. More drama and extreme scrutiny from law enforcement and media whores if Glamis has to respond. Either way though, this Jones thing is over. It's not the only thing, just hang on. Okay, there's apparently an invitation for someone who's been dead for 481 years for midnight services in the chapel. And this is from Somerset herself. A witch that was burnt at the stake. They say falsely accused. This was disturbing, listening to this. I don't want to play it. It just... very, very weird. And there's a face in here. I don't know if you can see that, guys. It looks creepy as. Bohemian Grove welcomes Ralph Stafford and Margaret Audley to the High Street Fair. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. Just hang on, look at this. Quin to Q. Stand down. Swamp striders on the move. Prepare to bleed. Cold silence protocol is invoked until heavens break. This was on the May the 6th, 2018. That one. Project Able Wolf is concluded. On the 4th of May, the hounds of havoc overtook their prey. 3 traitorous delegates, their souls released, lay themselves down on cold steel rails to await the 1:15. Many thanks to Lord Chaos, for the butchery was exquisite, and a fine example was provided to all. Debate is required, respectful dissent is allowed, and treachery is a death sentence. That was on May the 6th, 2018. I'm still going somewhere, guys. Just bear with me. Duma, respond now. Assad's chemical attack on Duma cannot go unanswered. Recommend strike from above within 1 week. Coordinate your forces and contact Cathedral Tower. I'm still going somewhere. What's this one? Halamarium does... Oh, I can't say that. Enough has been said. It's time for you to step down. You have 2 weeks to prepare your exit. Any longer and Wetton will finish this. February the 1st, 2018. Princess Augusta. It's been 279 years since the disaster. Bilderberg. There's something I'm getting to. Sorry, guys. It's taking a minute to get there. Here we go. It's coming. Windsor Tower, unleash the storm. Begin posting and expect major impact. All shall awaken. October the 27th, 2017. This is why I want to know if anyone can find out. I don't know how to find out when this site was created, because they could have just put these in there. The sound of 13 trumpets will carry across the water to summon Lord Chaos from the bowels of Thomas Kirkbride's terrible edifice. And it's chaos. There's one more. Here we go. Windsor Tower, prepare for storm. Initiative Q is approved by Glamis in the upper chamber. Prepare posts for Winterfileth on 28th on channel 4. 4 channel. Posted August 31st, 2017. Okay. Now, there could be more interesting stuff in here, but I'm not going to go any further. These people here who are writing this one here are professional researchers, attorneys, teachers, Interpol investigators, journalists, security specialists, and professional historians scattered throughout the globe who share an interest in Miss Belanoff and her influence in the space, generally referred to as elite or Illuminati. We seek to provide a better understanding of the forces that shape our daily lives. Much of the so-called information online is intended to lure the viewer in for the sake of advertising, i.e. clickbait. Likewise, a lot of what is presented on social media seeks to frighten, inflame, or advance the cause of hatred against one group or another, while offering only the same tired tropes that have been trotted out over the past 200 years. It is our hope that we can share a more accurate view of the forces working behind the scenes, and to that end we offer first-hand, verifiable information rather than innuendo or fantasy. Belanoff researchers have often noted that information about her is elusive, and once posted is often removed within a few days or weeks. The website will likely be taken down at some point in time, as previous versions were. However, rest assured, we also store this information offline, and as we are writing and posting from clandestine locations around the world, we will repost as often as possible when information is censored or removed. With regard to our personal safety, we take responsible steps to maintain our anonymity. We are confident that Miss Balanoff could easily find our real-life identity, if she so desire. See the section entitled Occult in the navigation tabs. We also note that the individuals who have provided us with the information offered on this site have taken greater risks. Yet to date, none of them have suffered any retribution from Miss Balanoff. After all, we've taken great pains to ensure the information we post is true and accurate. We've intentionally avoided posting information we can't verify, and that would serve to inflame rather than inform. Email hack reveals monitoring of online activity. In March 2019, a low-level staff worker obtained several emails sent by Belanoff to 3 staff members who report directly to her. Lord Francis Bowes-Lyon, a close relative of Belanoff and Chief Technology Officer of the House of Wetton. Sir Callum Quinich, Wetton's Chief Security Officer, and Tiamat Narbani, Miss Balanoff's Chief of Staff. The email, which was stolen from the office of Lord Francis, reveals that the elite office has been using extremely advanced technology to monitor the YouTube accounts of several popular alternative news providers. Daniel John Lee, David Wilcock, and Military Tribunal updates, yes. The email also hints at the possibility that the House of Witton has paid certain high-profile internet news sources to produce content that is both critical of the elite, but at the same time deemed too salacious to be believed. We presume this was done with the goal of discrediting criticism in general. In the email, which is attached below, Miss Balanoff states that the accounts now being monitored are not among those bought and paid for by the House of Wetton, and although critical of the elite, the 3 news channels do not appear to be connected to Project Able Wolf. More on this on the evidence page of this website. This answers the question as to whether the Illuminati are aware of the discussions taking place about them on social media. Click on the icon below, and as I said, I'll put this down in this link down in the description, so you can do this. Look at this yourself. I wanted to show you this. This is Wikipedia. House of Wetton. House of Wetton, Wetton, is a dynasty of German counts, dukes, prince-electors, and kings that once ruled territories in the present-day German states of Saxony-Anhalt, and Thuringia. The dynasty is one of the oldest in Europe, and its origins can be traced back to the town of Wetton, Saxony-Anhalt. The Wettons gradually rose to power within the Holy Roman Empire. Members of the family became the rulers of several medieval states, starting with the Saxon Eastern March in 1030. Other states they gained were Meissen in 1089, Thuringia in 1263, and Saxony in 1423. These areas cover large parts of central Germany as a cultural area of Germany. The family divided into 2 ruling branches in 1485 by the Treaty of Leipzig, the Ernestine and Albertine branches. The older Ernestine branch played a key role during the Protestant Reformation. Many ruling monarchs outside Germany were later tied to its cadet branch, the House of Saxe, Goldberg and Gotha, which the Queen is. The Albertine branch, while less prominent, ruled most of Saxony and played part in Polish history. Agnates of the House of Wettin have at various times ascended the thrones of Great Britain, Portugal, Bulgaria, Poland, Saxony and Belgium. Only the British and Belgian lines retain their thrones today. So, related to the Queen. Okay. I will put this in the description below while we go back here for a minute. That's the only known photo of her, and apparently something with their eyes, like their eyes are very entrancing or something. I pull the strings in the elite dance, Somerset Belanoff, Countess of Banbury and Arran. School photo circa 1970 is the only known existing photograph of the Countess. Gregory Rasputin, aka the Mad Monk, is Miss Belanoff's great-grandfather. Note the family resemblance through the eyes. So, I will put this, you can come and read it yourself. Has been closely associated with a cult from an early age. Claims to have met the devil at Glamis Castle when she was a child and frankly was not impressed. Through statements and actions over the years, Belanoff has made it very clear she considers groups such as the Bilderbergers, Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commissions, etc. to hold a lower position in the cabal than those born into nobility. She refers to these lesser Illuminati members as grubby downstairs staff, inferior in rank, intellect, common sense and breeding. She rules the House of Wettin's upper chamber with an iron fist, is likely responsible for the execution of dozens of Illuminati. See the section titled Purge of the Princess on There Will Be Blood tab, which is up here. The most recent executions are those of 3 elite international bankers murdered in California in May 2018. Has suggested that these newly moneyed lesser Illuminati should be accustomed to living in mud huts with dirt floors, as befitting their actual rank. Yep, met the devil and said frankly was not impressed. Is the great-granddaughter of Rasputin and the great-great-great-granddaughter of Queen Victoria. Travels regularly to the Kremlin, the White House and of course Buckingham Palace. She arrives unannounced and without an invitation, and she is probably the only person in the world who does this, uninvited yet completely welcome in all these locations. She was the driving force behind the rise of Mikhail Gorbachev in the Soviet Union and ultimate fall of the Soviet Communist Party. Refers to international communism as a filthy cabal full of incompetent lazy dogs who should be thrown from the castle walls at our earliest convenience. She ordered Barack Obama to bring down the government of Muammar Gaddafi and told him to be sure that the dictator would be shot in the street like a dog. She shared a strong bond with the late Queen Mother, favourite cousin of Queen Elizabeth II. She holds the rank of Countess, given by Queen Elizabeth in 1979. Her official title is Countess of Banbury and Arran, but note they'll just refer to her as Belanoff. Owing to persistent intermarriage among the European upper class over many generations, Belanoff is connected to the Dukes of Somerset in England, the Earls of Strathmore in Scotland, the Imperial House of Russia, and the historical House of Wetton, of which the House of Windsor is a cadet junior branch. She is the great-granddaughter of Rasputin and Princess Elizabeth of Hesse and by Rhine, who was the granddaughter of Queen Victoria. This means Miss Belanoff is the great-great-great-granddaughter of Queen Victoria, as are Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, the Queen's husband. Lovely. Counting on her holdings from the Suriname mining and real estate assets she inherited from her industrialist father, Belanoff's personal fortune is estimated to be at least $14 billion US. As a child, she was known to spook family members and guests with casual factual statements about long-dead relatives who died in Glamis Castle, often referring to them by nicknames used for them when they were alive. On one occasion, according to Princess Margaret, when Belanoff was 8 years old, she joined a grown-up card game and played extremely well, winning several hands. When the astonished adults asked how she learned to play so well, she replied that she'd been playing cards on a regular basis with Earl Beatty in a hidden room within the castle since she was 3 years old. Earl Beatty can beat the devil at cards, she announced, and sometimes I can beat the devil too. Earl Beatty is a distant relative of the current royal family who lived in Glamis Castle and died there in 1486. Somerset Belanoff was not the heir apparent under Salic law, which follows the principle of primogeniture, said Lord Alfred Saxe-Coburg, himself a prominent policymaker in the upper echelon of European elites. That privileged spot goes to Michael, Prince of Saxe-Weimar-Eisenach, the most senior, agnate and titular head of the House of Wetton. Belanoff was not in line to inherit the prince's title, says Saxe-Coburg, but the sheer number of aristocratic bloodlines in her pedigree, combined with her charisma and personal magnetism, placed her in a unique position to assume the practical leadership of our house, which is Europe's most elite dynasty. The Countess herself has joked that she is the most illuminated of the Illuminati. Okay guys, the rest of this explains a bit of just their relationships, who they are. You can go through it. There's evidence. This is what I was talking about when I said you got to click all the tabs. The background, the evidence. There's some PDFs in there. The occult. Occult connections deeper than Dante. I've met your devil, sir, and quite frankly, I was not impressed. Lucifer is a third-rate demonic entity who relies on his biblical fame in an attempt to hold on to power. The pathetic fool once offered to give me the world on a silver platter in return for my immortal soul. I told him I already have the world, I have the silver platter, and I have no need of his silly trinkets. I told him if he annoyed us further, I would take his eyes out, and he left. I was 13 years old. Somerset Belanoff. The Lost Children of Hamelin. She has a unusual connection. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, remember? Here we go. Assault on Golden Dawn sorcerers. Always critical of Aleister Crowley and his associates, Miss Belanoff is said to have referred to Crowley's Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn as the Pathetic Order of the Golden Yawn. See my last video. In the summer of 1969, she was introduced to former Crowley colleagues in what turned out to be a sort of sorcery showdown that brought about the destruction of the resurrected order. Led Zeppelin manager Peter Grant recounted this story to the British music magazine Melody Maker. Well, I knew the Countess when she was 16 years old, and before she was a Countess and before the whole Wetton World Governing Council stuff. She was one of the beautiful young people who orbited the rock and roll scene back in the 60s. And we were a pretty rough lot. She was called Lilibet back then, sort of a nickname for Elizabeth, which is actually her first name. At first we thought, she's the Queen's cousin, she's beautiful and we like having her around, but we have to look after her, protect her from some of these predatory gorillas around us. She'd go away to school in China. She was majoring in mathematics. Already at university, really advanced for her age. Or she'd leave for a few weeks up to Glamis or to Clarence House in London. Then she'd pop back into our lives every couple of months. And, she and Jimmy Page used to have these friendly occult challenges where they'd sit across from each other and see who could make the other person's chair fall over. Silly games like that. And I remember one thing she could do that Jimmy could not, is she could actually literally drop the temperature in the room. And then apparently the song Stairway to Heaven, while we're here, I'll do this. I can get my fingers on the right buttons here. Stairway to Heaven lyrics we want. There we go. You should all know this, hopefully. But this is apparently about this lady. There's a lady whose shawl, all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. And she's buying the stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, because sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings, sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven. And ooh, it makes me wonder, ooh, it makes me wonder. There's a feeling I get when I look to the west and my spirit is crying for leaving. In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees and the voices of those who stand looking. Ooh, it makes me wonder, it makes me wonder. And it is whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason. The Pied Piper? And a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forests will echo with laughter. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. And apparently her birthday is the 1st of May, I think. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on, and it makes me wonder. Your head is humming and it won't go. In case you don't know, the piper's calling you to join him. Dear lady, can you hear the wind blow? And did you know your stairway lies on the whispering wind? And as we wind on down the road, our shadows taller than our soul, there walks a lady we all know, who shines white light and wants to show how everything still turns to gold. And if you listen very hard, the tune will come to you at last, when all are one and one is all, to be a rock and not to roll. And she's buying a stairway to heaven. So, apparently that is what Stairway to Heaven was about. And there's more to this. I don't want to go too far into it just at the moment. Now I've covered the House of Wetton. Okay, more on this one. There's more on this. Hang on, I've got to find it. Well, bloody rise to power. Appointment to World Governing Council. In October 1979, she was appointed by Queen Elizabeth II. Background. What is the Wetton World Government and what's its role in governments? Purge of Princes and the restructure of Wetton's governing authority. See, this is why you've got to get... I don't know, we've got to get rid of people. Oh, I don't know. How do we get rid of it? Dear God. And then Glamis Calling, which is this one over here, the a site I went to with all the strange messages on it. Message are cryptic, some clear instructions. An example of such communications is the message that appeared on the 3rd of January 2019 when Ms. Belanoff instructs Vice Admiral Lisa Franchetti, the commander of US 6th Fleet, to send the destroyer USS Donald Cook to the Black Sea, with instructions to meet up with Turkish naval counterparts and then proceed to the port of Odessa. In the same post, she instructs the commander of Russian Black Sea Fleet that he is allowed to observe but not interfere with the US ship. Okay, there's a lot going through there. Staff, let's go over here. Now, someone was saying that some of her staff are from a porn site. If you can make a video on that, please. I don't know how to do whatever you've done. Put pictures in, find the originals, I don't know. But if you can make a video on that, please, and let me know. Let me know how you did it. Show me how you did that, because I would like to know. Timmy at Maribena, Chief Technology Officer for the World Governing Council. Her parents named her after ancient Sumerian deity Tiamat, goddess for or demon of chaos and creation. Natalie Belanoff, that looks like her daughter, or daughter's daughter. Somerset Belanoff's youngest daughter, okay. Reporting directly to the Countess. She oversees satellite and terrestrial communications related to post-lullaby frequency, forgotten frequency and their associated nodes, which includes Hyacinth node, where most Capricorn uploads occur. Okay, now I don't pretend to understand any of this. Karina Belanoff is Somerset Belanoff's middle daughter and the elected general of the upper chamber. She's responsible for communication connections. Is the chief protocol officer for Bohemian Grove. Amy Belanoff, Miss Belanoff's niece and daughter of Sir Michael and Marissa Windsor, St John. She's currently employed special assistant Somerset Belanoff and is expected to become a permanent member of the team. Now, before we go too far, this lady here, what was her name again? Karina Belanoff. Is it? Not this lady. This one. Karina Belanoff. I can't see. I thought it said Karma. Oh dear God, I need new glasses. Karina Belanoff Twitter. Karina Smirnoff. Hang on, when I wrote Karma, let's see. Oh yeah, look at this. Meet your meat, cannibal cravings at the Hollydale. People are meat. Amy Belanoff, St John with... Okay, so that was... Okay, hang on. I'm going to open this so I don't lose it. Jesus Christ. This is Amy, who runs this. See, there you go. Those who sacrifice are from the lower classes. Their most humble desire is to be in our bellies. God bless all you lovely, delicious people. I wish I could eat you every day. With gratitude in our hearts and friends in our bellies, the wonderful people below are just a few of the flesh donors who made the ultimate sacrifice for your culinary enjoyment in recent months. All of our specimens undergo rigorous physical and psychological screening to ensure our clientele enjoy the healthiest of meals. I'd like to know if any of these people are missing. As an artist, I can't imagine anything more exquisite than being ripped to pieces by vicious dogs while performing my signature horsey hop mime dance in the frenzy room. I know whatever's left of me will be delicious. This is my gift to the children of Sarajevo. Stella Maldonado, Encino, California. Really looking forward to fighting a bear in the gladiator room. I'm pretty fit and have watched a ton of Bruce Lee movies, so I think I can beat a full-grown grizzly. Whatever though, because if I lose, I get to be butchered and cooked by Ian fucking Sinclair. Win-win, right? Drew Jeremiah. I don't believe they wrote this. Tamiat Marabini, who is... Where is she? This lady here. I'm a newbie when it comes to eating human beings, and I was a little squeamish at first, but Master Chef Sinclair's bone marrow soup is crazy, crazy delicious. Oh dear God. Point 5 is on record as being quasi-anti-cannibalism because in the hands of the wrong people it could be really dangerous, but the restaurant owner Karina is awesome, and her insane Master Chef does a great job, and the security is really tight so no one gets on the menu who isn't really into it. Our drummer Hunter Mason signed up for the Razor Room Dance contest, and when he got sliced in half he was on the menu the next day, which is what he wanted if he didn't make it. I know people talk a lot of smack about drummers, but ours was ultra tasty. Also, he wasn't a great drummer, pretty average actually, so you know, it all worked out. People always taste better when you get to know them first. Teresa de Rothschild. So this is just creepy. Okay, this is just creepy. Entertainment. And this is people I meet. And that's a hooker. Here you go, Zsa Zsa de Gabor. I always think it's a pity when I can't eat everyone, but at least at the Holydale I've had the pleasure of eating some lovely people. We've got belly dancers. 4 exotic hooker lounges, each with a different decor theme. Whether you prefer to float away on a nice Moroccan dream leaf, soar to magnificent heights with a few drams of Himalayan Rocket Man, or release the gorilla with the bud of the T-Rex plant, we've got you covered. Beautiful people, wonderful entertainment and delicious food, often all wrapped up in one exquisite package. Donors and diners celebrate the pre-dinner festivities together at the Holydale. At the Holydale, you meet your donors in the afternoon, party with them, dance with them, chase the light with them, and after the clock strikes midnight, you'll eat them in one of our fine dining rooms. It just gets weirder and sicker and weirder and sicker. Jesus Christ. Or a secret adventure of the illicit variety. The Holydale is always the right choice. Because in our line of work, discretion is of utmost importance. Cannibalism is for lovers. Stoned in the hooker lounge with great music and edible belly dances. Seriously, can anything be better than that? Lord Cameron Dunrobin. Featured artist at the Holydale. Point 5 in the Donna Room. Jeez. Cannibal Band Point 5 perform at the Holydale. Point 5's music has been banned by Antifa in the city of Portland. The organisation has named Point 5 the most dangerous band in America. Though the activism of Antifa and the music of Point 5 share an anti-establishment ethos, Antifa block commander Kevin Field has said that the image of a tall white man with a shaved head shouting angrily and backed by heavy guitar music is frightening and very traumatizing, especially given their Italian-American connections in New England, and the fact that they are cannibals. Field had previously commented Benito Mussolini and Dr. Dre had a bunch of babies, and if those babies grew up to be cannibals, they would be 0.5. I'm not going to play any of these. You can, as I said, I'll put them all these links in down below so you can have a look at yourself. I'm not saying that I believe this or not, but why are these pages up allowed on the internet? Why are they up there? Okay. At Hollydale, they're fresh. Who's this? Juan escaped to West in order to enjoy cannibal cuisine of superior quality. Cannibalism in North Korea is dangerous because all the meat you find is basically long time dead. Killed by... Find dead guy in street, dead, killed by car, or find people in field killed by police, but always rotten and usually stinking also. Here at Hollydale, so fresh. Maybe killed by dogs or bear, but always fresh. His favourite cannibal dish is Irish hammered head cheese, which he says is a rare delicacy where he comes from in North Korea. Juan explains the only great leader is allowed to eat Irish people. But even the great leader not eating the head because not know how to get meat out of the skull. This little darling was adopted by Master Chef Sinclair in 2018. She lives at the Hollydale with her new dad, and she's not in school. She helps out in the kitchen. She enjoys the cannibal lifestyle. Hopes to be... Oh, dear God. Her favourite dish is anything with battered brains. Okay. The band has drawn strong criticism from right and left wing spectrum and from cannibals and non-cannibals alike. Okay. This is some of their lyrics. Praying to your filthy gods won't save you from your fate. I'll dig up your parents and I'll teach your kids to hate. Bust up all the dishes. I'm too drunk to load my gun. When I sober up, put your shoes on. It's time to run. This bloke, or whoever it is, who claims he first went cannibal at the age of 9 during a school field trip, said every member of Geronimo's strap has spent a significant amount of time in various prisons and psychiatric facilities. Well, you'd have to, wouldn't you, to be part of this? Mostly in Kentucky is a sergeant of arms for the Kentucky Viper Militia, which purports to be non-racist, pro-cannibal, pro-grave robbery and pro-government violent hate group. Yep, I'll leave this link, but I'm going to go to another tab in here. Again, I'm sorry guys, all I'm doing is showing you this. I don't know what to think. Menu. Some cannibals say cruelty is the best source, but I disagree. I find the combination of adrenaline, serotonin and dopamine gives the flesh a delicate yet bold je ne sais quoi. Marissa Windsor, St. John. Socially responsible distribution of uneaten food. Due to California licensing restrictions on the transport of human remains, we cannot allow guests to remove food from the premises. All uneaten food is repackaged and transported by licensed staff to charitable institutions such as senior shut-ins, Children of Shame, Workhouse Orphanage or Luther's Night and Day Care Centre. Appetizers: homemade tortilla, cannibal chips smothered in traditional English cheddar and deep fried in freshly rendered man tallow. Truffle fries with mother's milk, parmesan deep fried in rendered lady tallow. Nachos with cheese sprinkled with jalapenos and topped with generous serving of tender shredded shoulder roast. Baked oysters with mushroom and cream. If you're allergic to shellfish, remember these don't come from the ocean. Dairy dishes are made from fresh mother milk. And it's funny because they do say that these people... This is disgusting, guys. They say that these people volunteer to be eaten. Unless you're absolutely, like, insane or brainwashed. I don't see anyone... Look, say to be considered for the... Okay, winners of the 2019 announced below. To be considered for the 2020 event, email them at these. This year's winner took the Hollydale by style and literally murdered the competition. Normally a few strong competitors from one team wins a prize, but this year was different. This year was amazing. The winners of the 2019 competition employ a strategy that we have not seen before and frankly had not contemplated. The winners, Team Enlil and Team... I can't say it, had worked together over the previous 2 years to prepare for the madness. The 8 friends first obtained Rooster Hollydale's 19th century excavation plans, reviewed them thoroughly and built mock-ups of key segments of the gaming area. It's safe to say these formidable warriors knew the layout of the caverns better than we do. For example, there are at least 37 shafts sunk deep into the rock in the caverns and tunnels that make up the gaming area. Our winners knew exactly where they were located and used them to great advantage. The purpose of Rooster's shafts are unknown. Perhaps he intended to build another level below the current floor, and the shafts were built in preparation for elevators that might have been installed at a later date. Perhaps the holes were attempts to locate water. Others have suggested the shafts were lairs where the Rooster demon slaves rested from their labour. Whatever the original purpose of the holes, Team Enlil and Team whatever it is, used them to trap and disable our electric servants. What are electric servants? 3 members of Team whatever it is managed to evade the electric servants and the stone killers from Teams Enlil and the other one. All team members survived. The winners pictured below attacked the games with a level of speed, violence and efficiency that was previously unheard of in our competition. Their approach to the contest was ferocious, at times devious, and always ultra-violent. Whether they were dispatching their fellow contestants, luring the electric servants to their demise in the deep pits, or creating diversions and laying traps, the 2 teams worked as seasonal warriors, skillfully navigating the labyrinth depths of the Hollydale caverns and swiftly executing their competitors. Their effectiveness was both frightening and breathtaking to behold. They fought with hammers, bows and arrows, pry bars, fire, rope, knives, forks, rocks, hatchets and gravity. Their fury was savage and delicious, and no one, even our formidable electric servants, stood a chance against them. We honour you today and for the rest of the year. Elsa Bauer, high school science and math teacher. Check out the eyes on these, like some of these people. Kalinda Jin, professional photographer. Sepia Redan, unknown occupation. Stella Chindra, cybersecurity. Certified public accountant. Physician, internal medicine. Katie Haskins, unemployed. Lauren Muncie, martial arts academy owner. Stella Chindra led the pack with 9 kills. Holly Cabrisi and Sepidi Rahani had 8 kills and 5 kills respectively. Nia Tuan came in with 3. Kalinda Jin murdered 2. And brothers Vincent and Eric Portillo killed 1 person each. How the contest works. Each year on October 31st, 40 contestants divide into 10 teams to compete against one another and against the electric servants to win a fortune in cash and free dining at the Hollydale for a year. Losers will be on the menu. If cheap shots, dirty tricks, unsportsmanlike treachery and unrestrained violence sounds good, you're in the right place. Let the games begin. Murder, mayhem and dangerous games. At 3 p.m. on October the 31st, Hollydale General Manager Hugh Collins gives the green light for the games to begin. Murder the contestants. Stay alive from 3 to 5. So it's from a vast network of tunnels and caverns beneath the Hollydale Lunatic Asylum becomes a deadly battleground as 40 warriors fight to the death between the hours of 3 p.m. October 31st and 5 a.m. the next morning, so 14 hours. To win, you need to be alive at 5 a.m. November the 1st. Remember, you and your team will be competing against other contestants who, like the Electric Servants, will be hell-bent on killing you. Defeat the Hollydale Electric Servants and avoid being killed by other contestant teams to win big cash prizes. Selection is now closed to enrol in the 2020. If you're interested, enrol. In the spirit of fair competition, I wouldn't recommend it. In the spirit of fair competition, professional killers and current, as well as former members of the armed services, are eligible for this special Halloween event. Dear God. Oh dear. Hollydale Adoption Fair 2019 update. In this article, we announce the results of the 2019 Hollydale Adoption Fair and provide a general overview of the adoption auction process. See this lady here? Let's have a look at a Facebook profile. It says Hollydale Cannibal. Amanda Muse, Hollydale Cannibal. Look at this. So, that's this lady here. 2019 winner, 5-year-old Arawinda arrived at Hollydale on November the 2nd from the Yogyakarta region of Java, Indonesia, abandoned by her parents at the age of 11 months and was shuffled between several orphanages before being discovered by our adoption scouts. Arawinda, whose name means lotus in her native Javanese language, was the only child whose bid total exceeded her travel costs. Unfortunately, the other children were not eligible for adoption, as they were not able to garner sufficient auction totals to offset expenses incurred by the Hollydale on their behalf. As for Arawinda, she will stay in the residential quarters of the Hollydale while her adoption paperwork is finalised, after which she will join her forever family in Pacific Palisades, California. Heartfelt congratulations go out to Arawinda and her new parents. I'd probably prefer to be not adopted by these people. Each year prior to the Feast of Blades, as we contemplate the bounty we are blessed to enjoy, our thoughts turn to those less fortunate. A Hollydale Adoption Fair begins November the 1st and ends on the Feast of Blades. Approximately 60 tots from orphanages all over the world travel to our Hollydale home for the discerning, where they'll be considered for adoption by esteemed clientele. Oh dear. I don't know. During this time, our clients have the opportunity to visit with the children, interact with them and evaluate them. If all goes well, one or more adoptions-worthy children will be welcomed into forever homes. Of course, there are a multitude of laws and regulations in place governing adoption activity, and the Hollydale's process is fully compliant. Why put a picture of a child in front of an oven? When it doesn't work, sadly, even when we're all done our best to ensure a good fit, there are situations where your adopted child fails to fit into your lifestyle or family. Rest assured, when this happens, it's usually the fault of the adopted child. Dear God. Perhaps the child becomes willful, deceitful, or exhibits unseemly behaviour, or they may not be sufficiently appreciative of your sacrifices as an adoptive parent. Some children develop a habit of stealing, while others, fearful of their new environment, become violent or aggressive. Well, this is on the site peoplearemeat.com. If for any reason during the first year you become dissatisfied with your adopted child, simply return it to the Holydale or let us know where we can pick the child up. We'll refund your bid, no questions asked. What happens to the child? Carly Beth Cherbourg overcame terrible adversity in her early life and went to become a powerful force for change in the lives of thousands of people. In this article, we speak with Carrie Beth about the extreme adversity she faced as a child, her work to bring water to needy villages in Africa, her desire to compete at the Holydale. Those eyes again. The thing with the eyes is... Where are the pictures of these people? It's over here. A lot of them, some of them seem to have like different coloured eyes, and others seem to have a pale inside and a dark circle on the outside, like this girl here. And this one here. And it's difficult to see. This guy, did he have two different coloured eyes? Some of them do. Some of them are hard to see, and some of them just look plain black. I think most of them though have like two different coloured eyes. So what I'll do is I'll link these in the comments below, guys. You can see it in this lady's eyes. She's got the real dark circle on the outside. And some of these people you can actually see they have two different coloured eyes, although at the moment my screen's not very bright. So Randolph Mountbatten, responsible for disinformation campaigns, political dissent, takedown of governments deemed unfavourable. This girl's got it. Therese de Rothschild. Can't really see this one. But apparently they have like a commanding aura about them. Okay, so anyway, guys, that's all I'm gonna say about this, because if you want to go and look further, feel free. As I said again, I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying I'm not. I like to keep an open mind about everything. I just found it very strange, and last night when I did read the cannibal bit here, it was a bit disturbing, so I was a bit sort of put off and just didn't know what to think, because it's so disgusting. And these are just sites on... I'm not in the deep web, I'm on normal bloody internet. So it's up to you guys. You can believe it or not. I don't know. I just found it quite disturbing. So hopefully from the links I put below, you can look further. And as I said before, the person who said that the pictures were from a porn site, if you could please do a video and show me how you did that, I would really appreciate that, because these are things I can't do. I'm not tech savvy, and I'm just trying to do the best I can with what I have and what I can do. That's why I like the input from you guys too, because I would like to know what you guys think and what you guys have found. And if you can show me on a video, that would be really good. Or tell me how you did it at least. Or, yeah, because I don't know how you'd do that. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it there for today, but yeah, it was just really interesting, and this being part of it, I'm not sure and it could be disinformation, and a lot of it could be disinformation. But why is it, like, why is this stuff, like, why are cannibal? They're not the only ones, right? At this people meet, there's also the Cannibal Club. Just before we go, or just before I go, I just want to show you this because there is a, there you go, top one, cannibalclub.org. Specialising in the preparation of human meat, Cannibal Club brings the cutting edge of experimental cuisine to the refined palates of LA's cultural elite. Our master chefs hail from around the world for the opportunity to practice their craft, free of compromise and unbound by convention. So what I'll do is I'll link this also in the comments below for you. I'll actually click on it and I will share this below. It's up to you guys. Have a browse through it and honest to God, let me know what you guys think. Let me know. Whether you agree, whether you don't agree, whether you turn it off within the first couple of seconds because you think it's rubbish, just let me know. Okay guys, have a good one and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.